Welcome to MTG Anonymous. Thank you so much for all of the watches. Right now, by the time this video airs, we should be at over 1,000 views for the channel, and then we're almost under 6 months. So, I thank you so much. If you'd please continue to support, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into the video. Alright, welcome. So, you've seen Mono Black Recursion, you've seen Mono Red Aggro, you've seen Mono Blue Control. Next, we've got Mono Green Aggro. Yeah, I got quite a few decks. Let's go ahead and get into this deck tech. So, Mono Green Aggro, as you can see, has all Mono Green cards. Average CMC is 2.6, a lot of 2-drops. For creatures, there are 21, instants 5, sorceries 3, enchantments 7, and then lands 24. Let's go ahead and get started. Arboreal Grazer, for 1 green, you get a 0/3 beast. Has reach. When Arboreal Grazer enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So, it's just a early ramp, and then we got a flying blocker. A lot of people have been using that 2/3 vampire that flies. So what you can do is you can block this until it gets the +1/+1 counter. It's pretty good. Elvish Reclaimer, for 1 green, you get a 1/2 Elf Warrior. Elvish Reclaimer gets +2/+2 as long as there are 3 or more lands in your graveyard. And then 2 and tap, sacrifice a land, search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So, what we would do with this one is if we have forests already, and we have, well, if we have more than 3 forests and Elvish Reclaimer out, what we'll do is we'll sacrifice one of those forests that we tapped for mana to use this ability, and then we'll grab the Gingerbread Cabin. 1 food isn't great, but it's all I got right now. I haven't I haven't gotten any luck with the new packs, so. Pelt Collector, for 1 green, you get a 1/1 Elf Warrior. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, if that creature's power is greater than Pelt Collector's, put a +1/+1 counter on Pelt Collector. As long as Pelt Collector has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Trample. So, there are quite a few cards in this deck that have a greater power and toughness than it. So, basically what'll happen is we'll try to get Arlen's Wolf out. Once it drops, it'll get +1/+1. Then the Wicked Wolf, it'll get +1/+1. Then the Night Pack Ambusher, and then last but not least, the Howling Giant. And then that'll give it +4/+4 if we can keep it the entire time, and then it's a 5/5. So, next is Sedge Scorpion. For 1 green, you get a 1/1 with Death Touch. Death Touch says any amount of damage a source with Death Touch deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. Next we have Giant's Growth. For 1 green, instant, target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. It's just a combat trick, just so we can hit our opponent real quick. Not much more to say about that, actually. Might of the Masses, for 1 green, instant, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. So, again, another combat trick. This is really handy with Incubation Druid, because you swing with the 0/2 and then no one blocks it, and then you use the instant speed Might of Masses. And then a good combo is that Season of Growth, if it's out, and you play Might of Masses, and you draw into another one, you can do it again. So you can kill people out of nowhere. Incubation Druid, 1 and a green. Get a 0/2 Elf Druid. Tap it. Add 1 mana of any color that a land you control could produce. If Incubation Druid has a +1/+1 counter on it, add 3 mana of that type instead. So, New Horizons is going to give us that +1/+1 counter on Incubation Druid. The only time we'll play New Horizons is when Incubation Druid is out, just so we can get that extra mana. There's not necessarily a reason to need to adapt. And then adapt, if this creature has no +1/+1 counters on it, put blank counters on it where the number is next to the adapt. Leafkin Druid, 1 and a green, you get a 0/3 Elemental Druid, tap, add green. If you control 4 or more creatures, add green instead. Having 4 more creatures in this deck's real easy. In fact, you got 5 in the 1 slot, so by turn 3, preferably, you should have 3 creatures, or 4 creatures. Paradise Druid, 1 and a green. Paradise Druid has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. You know why this is in here. There isn't much ramp, except for the Gilded Goose, which I haven't got yet, so... and what we love is that it's hexproof, so our opponent can't target it until after we've used it for mana. Bond of Flourishing, 1 and a green. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest onto the bottom of your library in any order. You gain 3 life. So there are only permanents in this deck, and a couple instants and sorceries, but not enough to where this isn't useful to run. Once upon a time, 1 and a green. If this spell is the first spell you've cast this game, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Turn that off. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or a land card from among them and put on into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. So this is basically just out. So the first spell of the game, which on our opponent's first upkeep, or instep, excuse me, we'd be able to use it and then hopefully find either a 1-drop or an extra land. Rabid Bite, 1 and a green. Sorcery, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Most of the time, if we're in a bind, we're going to use both. It's happened, and I don't like using both, but when it happens, you need it. Season of Growth, like I said, 1 and a green. Enchantment, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. And then whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. So, Scry says, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card on the bottom of your library. If the number to the right of Scry changes, then you look at that many cards. Arlen's Wolf, 2 and a green. Creature Wolf. Arlen Wolf can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It's a 3/2. I have 3 of them in here because of the Night Pack Ambusher, but we'll get into that in a second. Ferocious Pup, 2 and a green. Whenever Ferocious Pup enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So, it's a green wolf creature token. That's it. Again, Night Pack Ambusher. New Horizons, 2 and a green. Enchant land. When it enters the battlefield, put +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Enchanted land has tap, add 2 mana of any color. Again, we're going to wait until Incubation Druid is out and then play this if we have them both together, and then that will make it so Incubation Druid makes 3 mana instead of 1. Night Pack Ambusher, 2 a green and a green. You get a creature wolf, 4/4. It has flash. Other wolves and werewolves you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Then Flash says you may cast a spell with Flash anytime you could cast an instant. So, I like this card. Basically what we're going to do, especially in Simic Flash, which, hint hint, is the next video after the night videos. But we'll go back into the night videos later. Flash this in on your opponent's turn, or you can flash this in. You know, you can honestly... Yeah, you'll flash it into your opponent's turn, and then if you don't have anything to do, you'll just wait, and then you'll get 2/2, which will be a 3/3. Wicked Wolf, 2 a green and a green. When it enters battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Sacrifice food. Put a +1/+1 counter on Wicked Wolf. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. So, what's good about this card is when you put this in, you can respond to its trigger with Giant Growth or Might of the Masses. So you can then make it a 6/6. Also, if you have the Gingerbread Cabin out, if you have its food token already, you can use that food token as it's coming in, give it the +1/+1, and it'll gain indestructible. So it's easy to get rid of Death Touchers that way. Fight says when 2 creatures fight each other, each deals non-combat damage equal to its power to the other. If you have a creature with Death Touch and it fights something, the other creature will die. Indestructible. Effects say destroy, don't destroy a permanent with indestructible, and if it's a creature, it can't be destroyed by damage, meaning indestructible won't die if it fights something bigger than it, or with enough toughness to kill it, enough power to kill it, more than its toughness, and then also things with Death Touch. Wolfkin Bond in a green, enchant creature. When Wolfkin Bond enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. There are 3 of them. So basically we get 4 power for 5. It's not great, but if you have the Night Pack Ambusher out, then you get 5, 4, 5, and that's why that's in here. Howling Giant, 5, a green and a green. Giant Druid, 5/5. It has reach. When Howling Giant enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. Again, well, 9 power for 7 is actually really good, but you can also get 11 power for 7 if Night Pack Ambusher is out. Last, we have 23 forests and 1 Gingerbread Cabin. Gingerbread Cabin is the new set of tapped lands, is the green one for this set. Gingerbread Cabin enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other forests. When Gingerbread Cabin enters the battlefield untapped, create a food token, and then it taps for green. How can we upgrade this deck? So, if you want to lower the mana cost of this deck, I would highly recommend taking out the Howling Giant, and then you can put more effects like +1/+1 counters, or you could have the Barkhide Troll. It's a 2/2. So there are lots of ways to get this going. Next, you can also get rid of the Wolfkin Bond. Yes, you get 4, but they're definitely way better 5 drops you can get. I just really like that for the combo with Night Pack Ambusher, but Nissa Who Shakes the World is really good. It would be really good in this deck, especially since it allows us to tap more mana. God Eternal Ronus will also do very good, as it'll double the power as it enters. So if Night Pack Ambusher's out, all your creatures get the +1/+1, then you get this in, and then boom, everything gets double its power and vigilance. I think that's it. If you liked the video, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe. I really enjoy doing this content. Also, the next few videos, starting with the next one that's being voted on Twitter right now, will be the different night colors. So, if you'd like to vote on what night color you'd like to see, please follow me on Twitter, and then that @ is at the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Later.